Hey everyone, it's Reza and I'm back again with another episode of XRM Tools. This one is all about typed entities, also known as early bound entities. As you can see, I have our plugin open in here. This is the same Hello World plugin. We have added registration attributes previously and we enabled code generation along with dependency injection. Then we have our logic to generate a welcome message for newly created accounts. We have this message coming from a greeting service, which depends on two other services, account statistics, which counts the number of accounts, and ordinal formatter, which is formatting it as an ordinal number. Now I'm going to add a new typed entity to our project. Let's right click on the project and add a new file. I'm going to call it entities to keep it simple. And then I will remove all the code from here. And I will simply add an assembly attribute called entity. The first parameter is mandatory, which is the name of your entity. And in this case, it will be account. And I'm gonna limit our attributes to only the name and industry code. You have also the choice of inheriting from a dedicated base class in your typed entities. For example, when you have a special abstract class that you want all your typed entities to inherit from. But in this case, I will keep it simple. And I will save this file and right click on it to enable entity code generation. Now we have a new code behind. Let's have a look. It only has one class, which is a partial typed entity, so you can easily extend it. It has a meta class embedded in it, which brings a lot of metadata from the Dataverse along with some utility methods you can use. And more importantly, we have two properties in here, industry code and a name that we can use in our code now. I have already prepared a new service called account query service. I'm going to include it in our project. Let's have a look. It's very simple. It has one method, get accounts by industry code. And then it does a simple query and casts the result to our typed entity account. Now let's use this in our greeting service. So our greeting service here had a simple method to create our welcome message. I'm gonna replace it with another method. And this new one requires account query service. So let's add it to our greeting service. Let's first add a private field and also include it in our constructor and set it in here. So if we look at the code, if our industry code is missing, it's going to return the same old welcome message. Otherwise, it will query the list of accounts in that industry. And if it finds some accounts, it will continue. Then if the number of those accounts is below 5, it will include their name as well in the message. Otherwise, it will be just the total count and the industry count. All right. Now the signature of this method has changed. And so let's update our interface as well. And now we need to go back to our plugin and send the industry code here as well. Okay, the problem is it doesn't exist in our target. So we will need to go up in here and add industry code. Then if we save and come back in here, we should have a new industry code as well. I just need to cast it to integer. All right, now our plugin is ready to be registered. But you might be wondering, what if your attributes or the entity has some prefixes that you would like to remove? For those scenarios, you just need to add another assembly attribute in here and look for CodeGen replace prefixes. You need to provide the list of all these prefixes you would like to remove, for example, ABC underscore, and you can optionally replace them by a new prefix if you want, for example, something like this. It's less common though, but it can be helpful, for example, if you don't want the names to collide in some cases. So, but in this case, I will just leave it as this. There is another choice you can have in here. For example, if you have global option sets in your entities, and instead of embedding them under the same entity type, you want them to be shared globally in a file. For that case, you need to add another assembly attribute. This one is called CodeGen global option set, and you will have the choice of nesting it in the same entity class or generating a global option set file, which might be more common. All right, that's all about typed entities or early bound entities using XRM tools. If you have questions, comments, please leave them below. I will do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.